Today on all things Giannis and the Bucks over at ESPNWisconsin.com. On to some more positive news tonight at 6:15, exclusively on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Sun Prairie East senior basketball star Chris Davis Jr. will be making his college commitment announcement. Again, 6:15, exclusively on the ESPN Madison YouTube.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me. I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have...
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
And then Contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Mer.
I'm the flower from it's Mr.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
I mean,
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I am Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. We are presented by Coors Light. The Mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors.
Right.
Say it again, Matt.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
What? That's primetime war shine behind the glass.
We're a mess.
Matt, what's going on? Why'd you move?
I made a move today. For some reason, the camera that usually looks at Matt Hamilton's face when he sits at his usual spot doesn't want to work today. So, for some reason, Matt's got to go sit on the other side of the table.
I don't
broke
like
it.
this.
Your face broke the camera.
Well, everybody sounds like a robot in this headset, too, now.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's terrible.
You might want to talk to your doctor about that. That could be something
No,
with your ear
because
canal.
when Ben Brush sat
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for the Jump Around,
That's
our
true.
batch-dedicated digital show, 12:30 on Thursdays, he hated it too. He just didn't wear it. You don't need to wear it, Matt. You can hear us.
Yeah,
I guess you
no.
won't be able to hear Ryan, but otherwise.
Honestly,
that's
after that little suggestion of moving over here, I don't know if I want to hear Ryan anymore.
Besides, we're only on ESPN Madison until 4:30. That's when the Brewers pregame starts. They take on the Guardians. The Guardians 23-17. The Brewers fresh off of losing 2 of 3 to Tampa. 5-10. I'm not wrong.
I know,
No, but just the way you said
with
it.
like a little bit of boyish joy.
Yeah. They're fresh off.
I also feel like I'm on trial here. Every time I look, I'm like, both of
is
you are
off.
looking at me.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm between my mom and my dad. Whose house do I want to go to this weekend?
first pitch, 5:10, pregame at 4:34. We are going to try something new because tomorrow we're going to be at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, and we're going to do a little bit of a watch-along for, I don't know, probably half an hour or so. But today we're going to be on until 4:30 on the air, but you can stream us until 5 o'clock-ish on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. So make sure to hop on there at 4:30, and we will continue the show commercial-free really until we run out of gas. So we will continue that show on the air while the Brewers, up until basically 5 o'clock, and the Brewers get rolling here on ESPN Madison. Some news, a Shams bomb today, and that's what we got to jump into.
Is that what it's called now?
I don't know. It's a Woj bomb, Shams bomb.
I mean, it's a Schefter bomb, too. So, I think just the bomb. It's the bomb, the
Is it a
insider bomb.
I mean, unless we can
Passing
come up with
bomb?
something better.
Is it a Passin bomb?
Sham Shocker.
Passin bomb sounds like a last name.
Possum bomb. That does sound like a soccer player.
Sounds like a dead possum on the side of the road.
Oof.
No? Possum? I know you said possum? Passin. Jeff Passin. What are you talking about? Goodness gracious.
Matt doesn't know what I'm even
I
saying
have
right
no
now.
idea what Ryan's
Matt's so
talking about.
confused.
I
This
forgot
is the
about
best
that.
show ever.
Well, regardless today, we are getting into the news about Giannis Antetokounmpo. And here is what Shams had to say. 2-time NBA MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo has not made any firm decisions, but for the first time in his career, he is open-minded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere, league sources told ESPN. And obviously, Bucks fans got in their feels immediately. This isn't news. It is absolutely news. As the news is, Molly, you said this in pre-show. The news is that Shams is reporting that for the first time in his career, Shams was at, whatever you think of ESPN, he was, at Athletic before this, just like Woj. Like, you cannot question the reporting skills of whether it's Schefter or Shams or Jeff Passan or Woj. They are separate than the Stephen A. Smith entity at ESPN. They are not around to create content to get clicks. Their job is dependent on getting real news, to the point where Woj finally left because he said his entire life was consumed. Like, he couldn't take a shower without basically having his phone in his hand. His life was consumed about trying to gather news. So, A, it's disrespectful, 2, it's rude, and 3, it's ignorant to try to say that Shams is doing anything but reporting actual news. And I would say this is coming, my guess, from Giannis's camp. Because this is not, when you say for the first time in his career, like, that sounds like something that's very direct. That Giannis is at least open. Doesn't mean he's gone yet, but he's putting at a bare minimum, Giannis is putting the pressure to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then you added this, which I think quieted some of the crybabies out there from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. In conversations with league sources familiar with his thinking, the Journal-Sentinel learned that Antetokounmpo has been dissatisfied with the level of play of the Bucks the last 2 seasons beyond just the postseason exits, which is not surprising. But look, I think this is the beginning of the end. I just don't know when the end is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Do we think this is intentional with the draft lottery being tonight? That it came out this morning?
I don't know. Tell me the case for it. I've seen lots of people say that, but I don't know how the draft lottery really affects anything unless you believe the lottery is rigged.
Well, I mean, right? I feel like we've talked about it. The 2 teams that are most interesting for the Milwaukee Bucks in order to get a return are the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets, right?
Yep.
Like, they are both in, I don't know what you would say, in contention in the lottery.
Yeah,
like,
the front runners.
Yeah, so... I think that
they're not for the runners.
For the Giannis trade,
yes.
They are in contention to get the number 1 pick in the lottery.
I believe one of them has Philadelphia's pick, which is tops. Basically, if it falls, exactly how it works. But one of them, if Philadelphia does not fall in the top 6, then it relays to either Houston or Oklahoma City. And then I think San Antonio, they have someone else's pick as well that will relay to them if it falls in the top 4. Mm-hmm. So those teams could really supercharge their chances to get Giannis, but I don't see how, like, it could happen after the draft or after the lottery, and still have the same impact. I think the timing, I mean, maybe it had something to do with it, but I think being in the playoffs and
purely for the speculation of trading for whoever's got an early pick, right? Well, not saying that is why he's reporting it, because I totally agree with you. He's not just reporting it for clickbait.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think it's a coincidence that this news got in front of him during a draft when there's a potential for something to be done.
But the most likely teams to get the top 4 picks are teams that have no business trading for Giannis. So, like, that's the part that's different. The Utah Jazz, the Wizards,
Hornets, and
Pelicans. None of them have any want or need for Giannis. I mean, everyone Giannis is not going to want to go to any of those situations.
Fair.
And so those are the 4 most likely scenarios. So we have to know how this lottery shakes out. And so I guess the only case we made that since Giannis says this before the actual lottery happens, in the world of Giannis being a good guy, he takes away any speculation that if he does it now and San Antonio or Houston lands a higher pick, it hits different than if he said it after they hit a higher pick. Because then all of a sudden you could easily read some tea leaves and say, oh, he wants to go there now.
Right.
As opposed to if he says it today, he can still play the good guy here. Because that's the other part I want to get to. And you can chime in on this, 844-770-3776. So Carl was talking text line. List is more. I guess our siding limited poll question. I just want to ask, like, do you think this is the beginning of the end of Giannis with the Bucks?
What if you thought the beginning was before this?
Then you could say no. I think that's just an easy.
When did you think
yes.
the beginning of the end was then? At the end of the season?
The moment I found out that Dame tore his ACL.
Okay, and
is
then you
when
could
I
say
thought that
Achilles.
or Achilles. Yeah, excuse me. That's when I thought that Giannis's time was done.
And I want to ask you and that's good. I want to ask it like this as a yes or no, because you could also say no. I think he's going to stay anyways. So I don't want to make the presumptive. You're right. If this is the end, that could make a stronger case. When Dame blew out his Achilles, then there is no. It accelerated. I was just talking to someone about this today. It accelerated the plan. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was never a guarantee, but with no Dame, now all of a sudden there's no grace period year.
Right.
I mean, Giannis is going to have to tough it out and deal with crap for a year in a hope for like a gap year. I believe Eric Name used for The Athletic. And I'm sorry, Giannis is too good for a gap year. If Giannis takes a gap year again, you should build him another statue or name something else after him, because
realistically, he's got 5 years?
That's another question. So
right,
he's
like taking a gap year when you only
Right.
have 5 years.
I don't. You sent a
Dangerous
tweet
game.
from Dwight Howard, Molly. You did
Yep.
to the group text. Where basically Dwight said, "Stay." Dwight Howard's problem was not moving. Dwight Howard's problem was his game did not age well, and there's a lot of Dwight Howard in Giannis's game. Now Giannis
Power,
is a
right?
Giannis is a better player than Dwight Howard. So even if he fell off like Dwight Howard did towards the end of his career, it's not going to be such a big drop. And I think he worked harder and works harder and is more competitive than Dwight. Dwight's a Hall of Famer. So again,
Yeah.
like hell of a basketball player. But I would say that Giannis could. I'm not betting on Giannis being peak top 5 player in the league after 35 for sure.
Right. See, yeah, that's what I agree with. That's why the whole idea of like a gap year and then we'll try and we'll make it happen for you. Realistically, if Giannis wants to stay with the Bucks and the Bucks are like, yes, we are going to do everything in our power to get back to like a championship quality team, his 5-year window, which would start next year, we all agree next year's shot, right? No Dame.
Yep.
No cap
Nothing's
space,
happening.
nothing, right? So next year's shot. The year after that, you might be able to start putting some pieces around, but realistically, first year after a full rebuild, also not going to happen. So there's 2 years. If you think you've got 5 years, are you going to sacrifice 2 to the maybe that your team can get you back over the top? Like, it seems like too big of a risk to me. And honestly, it seems like too big of a risk for the Bucks.
And for what it's worth, Dwight Howard is 39 currently. His last season in the NBA was 2021 to the 22 season.
So 35, 36?
Yep, 35, 36 years old.
See,
So strikingly similar parallels in a sense.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he's, like Jim said, I think Giannis is not going to decline the same way. But, like, if you think his window is still, he's 35, staying with the Bucks closes that by 2 years. There's no way a guy whose goal and it, like in this league is, in his direct words, is to get rings, play in championships, and win them. That's his goal. There's no way he can say, yeah, I can sacrifice 2 years of my 5 years that I realistically think I have left at a high level to watch you guys rebuild. On a maybe, too. It's not. There's no guarantee that this rebuild works.
There's no super young player where you're like, hey, you know what? In 2 years, this guy,
At least we got this
he'll
guy.
be my running mate. A little bit of breaking news here. Adam Schefter.
Oh,
Love breaking news.
Rogers to the Vikings.
Now this is some breaking news.
No?
We would absolutely break in with that too. But Adam Schefter, Fox will air a Week 16 doubleheader on Saturday, December 20th. So schedule news coming out. First game, Eagles at Commanders. Second game, Packers at Bears. Saturday, December 20th. One of the first games announced. I believe the first game was announced earlier today. Mike Tirico was on the Today Show, and he announced, I can't remember who was playing each
Eagles
other.
Cowboys.
Eagles
to open
Cowboys. I
the
knew it was
season.
Eagles. So Eagles Cowboys to start the season, and now we have another schedule release here, as that'll be coming up officially in a couple days. But Fox will air Week 16 doubleheader on Saturday, December 20th. Eagles at Commanders, and then what we all care about, Packers at Bears.
That's fun.
December 20th, a Saturday night game at Soldier Field.
Something to note as well from Rob Domofsky.
I don't know how I feel about the NFL just like jumping in on different days.
Oh, okay, well, let me stop you right there, Matt Hamilton,
Well,
because
Matt Hamilton cannot hear you.
he cannot. But so please tell him to stop talking.
Ryan says stop talking.
So Rob Domofsky on Twitter saying that Packers vs. Bears the Saturday before Christmas, which is on the following Thursday, would not preclude the Packers from playing on Christmas as well. In fact, if the Packers were playing on Christmas, you would likely be playing on the Saturday beforehand, right?
Okay, so Rob Domofsky adding a little bit of context there that the Packers may be in line to be playing on Christmas as well because of the Saturday game.
That's a quick turnaround, right? 5 days? Is that a fast turnaround? I got to think about days. Maybe not.
Not quite as fast as a Sunday turnaround.
True.
So that's what Domofsky's getting at there.
Do we like when our teams play on Christmas?
No.
No? Why? Because
no.
it's going to ruin your day if they lose.
A little bit, and then you kind of figure your day out around it. Like, I've got to go to the in-laws' house. I got to go to my family's place. When am I going to watch Packers?
It's also just funny to me, again, like, the Santa doesn't come to Matt's house. So, like, the real issue is, like, Santa and children disrupting. Like, for me, it's like, I have to then tell my kids or whatever and carve out time away from, like, my immediate family and be like, hey, can't do it. And again, your family's probably going to watch the game.
Are you trying to tell me the presents under my tree that say to Matt from Santa are not from Santa?
But my other point is,
Santa
it's just
doesn't
like,
come to my house, Jim.
But my other point is that, like, it's an adult Christmas, so you guys all can just gather around and watch the game wherever you're going to be. Like, you can figure it out.
Yeah, but I don't want to figure it out. I want to focus on Christmas,
but
and
also,
maybe the next day when I'm playing with my new toys that I got
I was
from
going to say,
Santa.
what do you mean focus on Christmas? Isn't Christmas just about hanging out with the family?
Yeah.
What? Then you just add a game to it.
But then you're not focused on it. It's
What do you do otherwise? So,
in
like,
the same sense that if you're sitting in the living room with your family and your girls are on like the iPads, it's not like you're hanging out.
Yeah, but they're
you're
little kids. I
spending
am
quality
hanging out with
time.
them.
You're just next to them.
Okay, but Matt,
in your own world.
So my question is, like, what do you do on a normal Christmas?
like when
Like
the
we
Packers
hang
aren't
out.
playing,
Like,
is that
if
a
there's
normal?
not
Honestly-
like if there's not a football game on that you guys are interested in.
There's some cooking. And there's going to be, obviously, so like we're hanging out in the kitchen. My mom loves puzzles, so we probably end up doing like a puzzle at some point as a family. Like we're doing like family activities where, yeah. I mean, some of it is you can spend some time away, and we've dealt with the Packers on Christmas before and had to like.
I'm just curious
carved out
because, like,
the
it
time.
depends on what time, but if it's outside of, like, the Christmas dinner, like, there's different fractions of, like, yeah, the kids usually go play, and then my wife will hang out with her grandma and her mom, and, you know, my father-in-law and I will hang out and chat, and, you know, whether it's flip on a game or watch a movie or whatever, like.
Definitely not giving him a hug, though. Right?
I was thinking the same thing.
Are we just hugging it out during Christmas?
Well,
So-
if the Bears beat the Packers, you're not going to hug?
He's a Packers fan.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not
Fight-
hugging him.
Fight on Christmas.
Okay.
But also, as TJ from the road said, how's it different than Thanksgiving? I just think that, like, usually at some point a movie or something's on anyways. The TV's kind of
don't
on
like
at some
You
But
point.
always
not on
have,
Thanksgiving
honestly, you
either,
always
though.
have it on as background. Like whether you're, even if like for us, a lot of the times we'll pull up like a YouTube with like, this sounds silly, but like a YouTube that plays Christmas music and then it's like a fireplace and you have like it on TV. Like
We don't
your
have the
TV's
TV
on.
on often at our house, but when we have people over, like a lot of times, like, especially if during football season, a lot of times I'll turn the TV on mute and we'll put music on. But, like, if we have family over for, I'm trying to think what holiday we have people over for during the, like, when it's during football season. But maybe they just come over for, like, a Saturday. And, like, if there's a game on, we're going to turn or a Sunday, we'll turn the game
sure.
on, put it on mute and put some music on, and we'll kind of chat. But, like, it's still on.
I think
Right,
I
but-
think
It's
this
not-
comes back to Matt is a fake football fan.
I love watching football
Triple
on the
F.
holidays. I just don't want to watch my team. Like Thanksgiving, great. I would love to watch the Cowboys play somebody and the Lions play anyone but the Packers. And I will deal, you know, in a couple days on Sunday when the Packers play. That's when I'll watch the game.
That's
I
my
don't
guy
want to do
right
it
there.
on a holiday because, yes, it could ruin my holiday.
Okay,
I might
well,
get
that's-
good gifts, have a great meal, and then watch the Packers get dusted by somebody. It's like, go to bed grumpy.
I
get it.
And so, like, for me, it's also, like, for the Bears side of it, it's not as easy to see the games here. And so if we're all together and we have the opportunity to watch the Bear game, fantastic. But, again, for Christmas, that's not actually great for me because Christmas, by the time those games come on, I'm usually back home with the kids, and then it's a matter of we are going to be playing with the toys that Santa gave. So then, like,
Right.
it truly is disrupting family time as opposed to when I'm around the in-laws earlier in the day. Part of family time is that the game is probably on, some sort of game. Go to Chalmers Jeweler, speaking of family time, Madison's family-owned jeweler, Madison's custom jeweler. Go to Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, an abbreviated version, live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hi,
Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has zero sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. National and local awards proving Siding Unlimited will deliver peace of mind. Looking for inspiration to replace your windows, roofing, siding, and doors? Stop by our amazing showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. And definitely check out sidingunlimited.com. We are Siding Unlimited.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. VFW State Adjutant Adam Wallace.
Local is always important because we want to engage with our community and support local businesses. You know, we are local to Madison and they are too.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. The benefit?
The benefit is having reliable equipment, having a reliable way to print documents.
James Imaging Systems, local service you just can't get anywhere else.
The customer service is great, and if an issue, when it rarely arises, they're very quick to fix it.
That's another benefit for the VFW.
It's just one less thing that we need to worry about as an organization.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
One of the best basketball players in the entire state, Chris Davis Jr. of Sun Prairie East High School, makes his college commitment.
Puts up a three to match the career. At the buzzer, yeah, got it. And an exclamation point for Chris Davis Jr.
Join me, Hunter Vaughn, and the Dean, Dennis Summerow, at 6:15 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel as Chris Davis Jr. makes his college commitment.
He's going to drive in, and there it is down. Welcome to Chris Davis Jr.'s poster.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
My journey at Carbon World Health started at their brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the Prairie Lake Shopping Center. This facility will feature Carbon's innovative services, including Botox, hydrofacials, M-Sculpt, IV therapies, and so much more. Stop in today to get started on your health and wellness journey.
Why are Wisconsin sports fans so weird? I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're taking you up to Brewers pregame at 4:30, and then we're going to kick on over to the YouTube stream. Honestly, for as long as you'll have us, or until 5 o'clock. One of those two things. So you can stream us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream until 5 o'clock. You also can stream the show on the ESPN Madison app as well. So we have a Siding Unlimited poll question. ESPN Shams reported that Giannis is now open-minded about leaving the Bucks. And that's the first time we've had an actual report attached to this. So again, I feel like in this era of, if I don't like the news, I'll just call it fake news, that people just call things fake and stick their head in the sand until things don't work out. And so, like, with this, it's worth noting that this is the first time, this is not a speculation, this is not a I believe. He is reporting, that means he has actual sources that Giannis is open-minded about leaving the Bucks. And that, to me, is the first step in the game of chicken the Bucks are playing between themselves and Giannis. But we asked the question, do you think this is the beginning of the end for Giannis in Milwaukee? Right now, only 37% of you say yes. You add in the 14%, and it still doesn't get to the 49% of you that say, no, he's staying, which is an absolutely psychotic take. Of like, seeing the news today makes you think Giannis is definitely staying. And here's the other part that really, what bothers me is that, like, we are coming across as kind of pathetic. Because, one, we're not the only fan base. Like, Golden State had this with Steph. Obviously, Oklahoma City had it with Durant. Like, it's not woe is us, everybody's picking on Milwaukee. This is the NBA. Dirk is the outlier. These guys aren't. LeBron went from Miami to L.A., but Miami to Cleveland to L.A. Like, Cleveland had this the whole time with LeBron. Like, and Cleveland's bigger than Milwaukee, I think, but, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we whining? Like, why are we such crybabies? Like, I hope to God if this happens that we all understand that Giannis gave us 12 amazing years and he owes us nothing. And this is the NBA. Guys don't stay. We've already had the glory. Like, he has stayed longer than I think anyone thought he was going to. I just don't want us to look pathetic in this sort of like, no, it's all fake. ESPN is just making up these stories because they want Giannis out of Milwaukee. Because Milwaukee is everyone hates Milwaukee and Wisconsin, and we're just a bunch of little babies. And God forbid you take away our Giannis. Like, honestly, we're pathetic. Anyone who's acting like that is absolutely pathetic.
I think most people just vote with their heart on these, then they're voting
but there's
with
all over social media
how it's going to happen.
There's people, Shams is a snake. Shams, how is he doing this? He's not making something up. Get it together, loser. Like, come on. Like, you might not like the report. And, oh, by the way, the Journal Sentinel backs it up. It still didn't say Giannis is leaving. But I'm really getting annoyed, and I really think it's a bad look on Bucks fans. Just because here's the difference. I understand that there has been rumors and whispers. Mm-hmm. This is not a rumor or a whisper. You can poo-poo and crap on all the rumors and whispers all you want. This is Shams, the preeminent NBA reporter, putting his name on the fact that for the first time ever, Giannis is open-minded about leaving the Bucks. That matters. That is new. That is a first-time report. So let's not be stupid, and let's not be pathetic, and let's not be losers about this.
But does this just come back to Wisconsin sports fans are very spoiled? Like we are with the Packers, right? Like, we have never, I mean, so far, knock on wood, we've never experienced the Green Bay Packers never having a bad quarterback, right? Like, in the last 3 decades.
We haven't experienced
we haven't experienced it. Like, and it's like we take that for granted. We haven't, and like you were just saying, the NBA is such a different landscape than any other major league sport. But, like, taking Giannis's time here for granted, the 12 years that he's been here for granted. Like, I think it all just comes back to that it's like we don't want to let go of having somebody like that as the face of our franchise.
And we're going to continue this conversation on ESPN Madison YouTube, but I think we're always forgetting. Everyone goes, Giannis is built different. He is very loyal, and what he's done already is different. he has no ties outside of being drafted here to Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed, and he's ingratiated himself in the community.
Ingratiated his family.
The whole thing. All that is true. But also, Giannis is one of the most competitive athletes on earth. He can't look at the Bucks and say, this looks fun.
No.
It
No,
was
you
quoted,
can't.
and I'm paraphrasing from the Thanalysis podcast that you can listen to on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Basically, Giannis said it keeps him up at night, the idea of never winning another title. So Giannis is built like a champion. And I've said this a million times. He's the man that took himself from a scrawny 19-year-old kid who didn't know the culture, didn't know much about the United States, and didn't know a damn thing about Milwaukee, and became Mr. Milwaukee and added, ungodly amounts of physical ability and muscle and game to his overall repertoire. And he did that because he's competitive AF. Maybe I'll say the F word on the YouTube stream.
Stay tuned.
So don't be surprised if he's finally going to be like, you guys, you blew it. Go be a winner. Go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars won every single weekend at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Brewers coming up next. We're going to be on ESPN Madison YouTube for a little bit longer.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, streaming exclusively on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
and then Contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Mer.
I'm the problem. It's
Mr.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. If the Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I'm Jim Rutledge. I have the power. Primetime war shine behind the glass. On ESPN Madison, you can hear the Milwaukee Brewers pregame. First pitch at 5:10. And Molly, Matt, and I are just going to hang out and talk some Bucks mostly. Until we feel like we don't want to. And part of that will have to partially be because we'll keep an eye on how many people are actually watching. We're not doing this just to chat. We do a whole pre-show meeting for just hanging out.
Yeah.
Like me. Otherwise, I can go home and I'm making burgers tonight. So
that
one of the
sounds
few
good.
times I'll be getting home early during the week. And so, because tomorrow we're going to
Is
be...
that the grill you got from
Brews Company?
Brews Company?
No, because
Yeah.
the Brews Company one is going to be saved for camping.
Okay.
Okay.
So that'll be because it's a rolling one, but it'll be nice to pop up for camping. And I had a smaller one, but that one from the Brews Company, I can kind of just cook more at one time.
And then you don't have to worry about kindling. Don't need kindling when you got
kindling needed.
Got
True.
the grill from the Brews Company.
Again, I love the charcoal. I do have a charcoal grill. I do take camping, but the propane is just especially like you're at the water. Yeah, you're at the water all day, and it's like kids are ready to eat. All right, we're just gonna fire it up and also as
So we can all agree, if you have the time, charcoal is the way to do it. But propane, the convenience is a little too tough to beat.
Yeah, honestly, if we're doing this whole thing, I like them. I do a little bit of mix of everything. Like tonight, I'm not going to do the. I probably could do the charcoal, but charcoal, we limit it because it's probably the worst thing for your body to cook with. So we try not to eat a ton with charcoal, and so there's that aspect of it. And then it's a treat with a flat top, so we can cook on the flat top, and you can get the
smash burgers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing tonight. So we can do the smash burgers. You got the grease from cooking on it for a while. You got the flavor cooked in. The charcoal grill, the propane grill we have at the house is mostly used for searing or every once in a while if I need to cook something quickly. Otherwise, I'll try to smoke a steak or chicken, like in our pellet smoker, before I take it to the propane grill, and then I'll fire. And then
Where do you keep all these things? Do they all live on your deck? Do you bring them into the garage when they're not in use? Like, what do you do?
These are the important things. So I have a patio. So we have, like, the back of our house, we have a porch. And if you looked out to our backyard, on one side there's a patio where we have dining for 4, and then I have my flat top grill over there because that's the one I'll use the most during the winter, so I can kind of kick on over there and cook. But then on the other side of the porch, we talked about is I put a deck in there, but the deck basically fills the space between up to the garage. So it's a good-sized deck.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we fill, and then on top of that, the back of the garage area I put down patio bricks because that was kind of a useless space because it never really catches sun.
So now your entire like back wall of your house now has like
function
entertainment space.
Right, because before, like the way that the trees were and the way that the sun came in, it was just all shaded. And so it just was like a dead area where kids would never want to play because it was always shaded and cold / like grass didn't grow great there. So we put a deck in, and then we put in patio bricks, and then on the patio brick side of things is my smoker and then my Weber grill.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I just try to like imagine. I'm like, where do you put 5 grills?
I could take some photos and share them for the Jim, Matt, and Molly Twitter because we had to play like guy from Badgerland Exteriors was over earlier, and he's like, "Wow, this place looks fantastic." Like, because we got the big Rainbow Play Systems playground thing, and we got a tree swing and all this other stuff back there. So, yeah, it's a good old time back there.
I mean, you run a daycare, so.
Well, only during the summers now. So
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice. I mean, the flat top. That would be my next purchase.
I love flat top. Flat top is my favorite.
Literally, my entire Instagram is just like videos of what to make on a flat top. I'm like, I don't even have one of these, but I want one. It's like
You can make
it's like fajitas, tacos,
you can make pancakes
everything.
and eggs in the morning and things like that out there.
Anything.
Everything.
Quesadillas.
And then like your house doesn't have to smell like bacon. That's the worst. Like
Well, that's the part,
Wait,
yeah.
what?
I hate. What?
You don't like this? Your house smelling like bacon?
I like it when I'm cooking it, but then when my jacket that I put on 2 hours later still smells like bacon, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, or
This
like
is why I don't do
I
it.
tried to pan sear steak in the house, and it was delicious. My wife's like, "Don't ever do that."
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a little
you're right.
smoky.
I'll go back and use the flat top.
Yeah.
That's what it's out there for.
I like trick myself into thinking, yeah, this microwave vent hood is good enough to handle me trying to like sear a steak on cast iron.
Nope.
No chance.
No. Delicious. But again, I had the flat top. I should have just used the flat top. So it's great for searing steak. But yeah, you cook a lot of meals on there. Vegetables. I use the flat top a ton. I absolutely love it. So, anyways, we should talk a little bit more. And I don't have. Do you want to bring up the YouTube in case people want to chime in on the YouTube?
Yep.
So let me know if anyone chimes in on the YouTube comments, and we'll just kind of hang out for a little bit longer here. But so back to the Bucks here with Giannis. So the big news: Shams reported that Giannis, for the first time ever, has indicated he's open to seeing what other teams have to offer, maybe playing for another team. And so I want to get to the nuts and bolts of this. That we had heard reports that the Bucks are going to make Giannis ask for a trade. Giannis has said, or his camp has intimated through reports, that he doesn't want to ask for a trade. And so for me, the first part of this is Giannis, at least his first step of asking for a trade. Because this is a soft sell. This is hey, I'm open. And
also kind of tests the waters, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no direct. Like Shams didn't say this is even from Giannis's camp.
Right.
He said from his sources. Mm-hmm. So this kind of like, it's like dipping your toe in the pool before you jump in. He's finding out what is the reaction going to be like a little bit if I just up and say it, or if it clearly comes from this camp that, hey, I am willing to move on to the right situation.
Now, I know that teams don't tamper, but is this a way to instigate some tampering?
Absolutely.
Let the other teams know, like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm open-minded about this. Do you want to have discussions?
Well, I think
my relationship with the Bucks just went from interrelationship to it's complicated. Like, what's going on, Houston?
Well, it could be poly, but I mean, like, if you went to the situation,
No, Giannis can't play for the Bucks and the Houston Rockets or the San Antonio.
you don't know, man.
He's a Greek freak. You don't know.
So with the scenario, this could have come. This could have come from the Bucks. This could have come from the Bucks, where they said, like, maybe they're letting people know. I think Evan Cohen had something on this on Unsportsmanlike, where basically now the Bucks, I'm sure, are always getting calls. So I think Giannis is either telling the Bucks directly or through the media that, like, hey, when those calls come in, take them serious. Like, I want to know who's interested, and I want to know where I could go play. And this is the important part, is that I do honestly believe that Giannis loves the city of Milwaukee, loves Bucks fans, and is appreciative of the organization and wants to do right by the organization. So I think in a perfect world, there is a way where both sides figure out how to trade Giannis, where the Bucks can maximize their return, and Giannis can go where he wants to go. That's I don't want to say best case scenario. Best case scenario, he stays. But like I would say the most realistic best case scenario for me is that the Bucks are able to work with Giannis behind the scenes, get a trade pulled off where it is the biggest haul. Because it really should be, just in the sort of like when a quarterback signs the next deal, they get the biggest deal in the NFL. This should be the biggest haul any player gets. Now, it won't be draft picks because the Bucks need players. We don't have to get into that, but basically they don't own their own pick till when, Matt?
2031.
2031.
It's only 6 years.
So they need
that right there is why the Bucks would be negligent to not trade him away.
Yeah.
If you try and run 2 more years with Giannis, let him get to his players option, and then he decides he's going to be a free agent and gets to talk to everybody, and you get nothing in return, and then you still have to wait 3 more years to have control of your own draft pick, like, that's 5 years of purgatory for the 2 more years you have with Giannis of being the 6th seed and getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Like, that is not worth it to me. I love Giannis, but it makes more sense. It makes sense for the Bucks and for Giannis for him to move on.
And it's possible for 2 things to be true at the same time, right? Like, Giannis can love the city of Milwaukee. He can love everything about Wisconsin. He can love that he had his family here, everything. But he can also want to win another championship.
And that's the case. That's what I think is, like, literally going through his head. Is like, yes, I really love it here. I would, given the choice, all things equal, including my teammates, he would stay in Milwaukee, I think. But he doesn't have the teammates to achieve his work goals, his career goals. Mm-hmm. And if he can't hit his career goals, like, I don't know about Giannis, but I know I would want to do everything I can to, like, get another championship. Like, that's why I'm still curling, is because I'm looking for another championship. And if there was a better opportunity than Team Schuster, I certainly would be telling Shams that my camp says I'm interested in the idea of moving other places.
Well, and the reverse is not even Team Schuster. It would be like you were on, like, a team that would barely qualify to make nationals.
Right.
And then all of a sudden Team Schuster came calling, you'd be like, yeah, I'm interested. You know, like
100%.
Like, so it's not like, again, if it was a Team Schuster situation where the Bucks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's like, okay, like, they're 1A, 1B, but that's not what's going on right now.
Right.
The Bucks are a team that are a 6th seed and probably were, I would have, just off the top of my head, 5 games away from being in a play-in game.
Especially the older you get and the more seasons that you play in, like, I'm not saying Giannis isn't having fun, but it's not as fun as it used to be. Part of the reason he's still doing it, and probably the entire reason, is to win more championships. So he doesn't want to just go out and have a good regular season and then be meh in the postseason. Like, sure, early in the career, making the postseason, that's an achievement. It's fun. It's new experience. He's done it now. He's got the T-shirt. All he wants to do is win championships. Like, as you get older in sport, though, I don't want to say the love of the game, but, like, the things that drive you change. It starts with the love of the game, and then once you get a taste of victory, like, and you start getting older and realize, like, you have to work that much harder to stay on top, like, your goal is to win championships. And he's not going to do that with the Bucks, unfortunately.
And so here's the other side of it as well, is that Giannis right now is playing nice, I guess, if you will. But do we know that's going to... So Prime chimes in 7. I wasn't that far off, just guessing off the top of my head. There were 7 games out of the play-in. So it just felt close. At one minute, I was like, oh, God, like, there's a play-in in place. But if Giannis tries this, and this is him soft-selling, wanting to get out, if the Bucks don't do anything or dig in, it could get ugly. And I thought of this, and I want to get to Evan Cohen in a minute here, but I thought of this when Stephen A. Smith was on First Take, and he was lamenting that the Knicks don't have a shot for Giannis, even though he thinks that Giannis would love to play for the Knicks, because he pointed out that after the season ended, Giannis went to New York, and that's, you know, a lot of people go to Turks and Caicos or somewhere super warm. He could have gone back home. I mean, his wife was pregnant, so I'm guessing that's why they didn't go anywhere too far. But he went to New York, and he was just saying that, hey, Giannis seems to love the city of New York. Okay. And he said, but we traded, I think, 5 first-round picks or something like that for Miles Bridges. So we don't have Mikhail, sorry. We don't have anything to give up for Giannis. Well, then Wendy kind of chimed in. He's like, you're right. And I don't think Giannis is going to do this, but if Giannis says, I want to play for the Knicks, it's going to happen. And I think that's the step where I think both sides want to avoid. We don't want to be in a situation where, let's say, the Bucks play hardball and they continue to try to force. Like, if Giannis
picks a team, because then you're stuck to that team, right?
If Giannis is forced to say, I want to be traded, I think at that point he might say, I want to be traded, and I want to be traded to Team X. Even if it's saying, I want to go to Houston, which is one of the teams that has, like, the most amount of assets to give up for him. But that's not, like, that takes away the leverage where you might have been able to get Amen Thompson out of Houston, and then all of a sudden you can't. You want to have multiple suitors. Like, Houston can give up multiple. I have this here from Bobby Marks on ESPN. So, Houston, let's say they get Giannis, which means they probably pick up the team option on Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams and maybe a couple other role players. But then they could trade players like Sengun, who has a player option in 2029, is paid $33.5 million, $33.9 million next season. The player option in 2029. So he's around for a while. So you have him for a little bit. You could trade Jalen Green, $33 million, a player option 2027, not quite around as much. But then you probably, if I'm the Bucks, I want Jabari Smith Jr., who's around and is restricted free agent in 2026 at $12 million. I want Amen Thompson. I want the younger guys. I want the rookie skill contract guys. So you could go Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, and then take on Sengun at basically $34 million a year. And then give me some picks. And that's a team that, honestly, probably is the 6th seed in the East.
Couple people chiming in on the YouTube stream. Brandon Bob says, best case scenario is Cooper Flagg, ? And
yeah, that would be best case, but I don't see that happening.
Meanwhile, Chewy says, Bucks just need to wait on the draft lottery. The goal is Cooper Flagg. Your hope is San Antonio gets the top pick.
If Houston gets the top pick, too, which is possible, that could be another one here. So San Antonio's another one. San Antonio, if you're a fan of Giannis, would be amazing.
Is that the only pick you would take?
No.
For Giannis?
If it's a top 4 in this year's draft, I probably would. I mean, you're going to get other draft picks regardless.
I was going to say, what are the other picks?
Like, you're going to... Like
how many first-round draft picks are you going to get?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Houston came at you, was like, hey, we've got Thompson and 5 picks in the next 3 years.
And I believe the Houston Rockets also hold some of the Suns' draft
right,
picks.
so you would take 22. I think there's a couple, maybe 2027 first rounder for the Suns.
Yeah, which could be a very high
Right,
pick.
that's when the Bucks have to have in this. If I'm trading with Houston,
No shade to the Suns. I'm just saying.
It's okay. Let's assume the Rockets don't end up with Cooper Flagg. If I'm going to the Rockets, I need that 2027 Suns pick. I want the Rockets pick this year, and I want some young players because the Bucks have to win. Now, in a perfect world, Cooper Flagg would be great, but it does complicate things because you're going to get less back beyond Giannis if it's Cooper Flagg, and you need to win. Again, this is where they've kind of handcuffed themselves.
I mean, you don't need to win if you move down from Giannis. You can continue to rebuild.
But you don't have any draft picks. So what are you rebuilding
Well,
with?
you're going to get more than just Cooper Flagg for Giannis.
But you're going to get less than before. Like if it's Cooper Flagg, it's like Cooper Flagg and maybe one other player. Because Cooper Flagg is viewed as a not quite Wembanyama type prospect, but like there.
He's not quite in that round. He's like the easy number 1 overall pick, but Wemby was like seen as like this guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Just this
maybe
morning they say that
time.
like he's just a tick below it.
I think there's a bit of a misconception in that area.
I'm just going off of what ESPN said today. It's closer than initially. Like it's close. He's not a traditional number 1.
Is this like how we've described the NFL draft this year? That like if it was any other year, he might be later in the draft pick?
But it might be similar to kind of the Travis Hunter thing where like he's an easy first overall pick, but you would look at him and say, is he going to be able to be the best player in the world at any given point? Cooper Flagg? No, but he might be like, at his best, he could be Jason Tatum where he's always the 6th or 7th best. But that's the peak.
If we get a Jason Tatum,
I mean, I'm not saying
oh
that's
my
bad.
God,
I'm
I'd be
not
happy.
saying that's a bad thing.
I could say that's still on the table from being a regular top 5 player.
It's on the table.
Yes, and that's not every year. Like there are other years.
The only reason I push back is because Wemby could be like the greatest player of all time if all things turn out right.
Right. But like a tick below that would be a perennial all-star. Like I think Cooper Flagg is viewed as a guy who could be if you played for your team for 15 years, or over the course of your career make 10 all-star games, and maybe be an MVP mix depending on his ceiling is definitely an MVP. Anyways, with San Antonio, the way Victor plays is actually, even though they're the same size, works perfect with Giannis because Victor is not offensively necessarily an inside guy. Giannis is.
Yep.
And Victor will probably develop into an inside guy, but he's young. So if you could get and again, if San Antonio, Ladd and Cooper Flagg, that's probably more likely they're willing to trade him along with someone else. Like I would take Cooper Flagg and Steven Castle, and you got a pretty good team. Like
okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting at. There's two players,
but Castle was Rookie of the Year.
It is Stephon Castle.
Okay.
He was in the dunk contest too.
I will say, if the Bucks get Cooper Flagg and Stephon Castle, that might be the coolest named team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Castle and Flagg.
Come on, that's
Capture the flag.
I mean, at least I can say it.
Yeah, thank God.
Yes, that's Campo. It'd be nice to have a superstar with a name I can say.
Those sound like Marvel movie characters.
Because the problem is, like, the team that could really set the Bucks up for future success, but they've burned down the house, is Brooklyn or the Jazz. Those two teams combined have 22 first-round picks available.
I couldn't even tell you any players that are on either of those teams anymore, which like is crazy because just a couple years ago they were 2 of the top teams. At least I feel like that was just a couple years ago. Was it not?
There was speculation with the whole Kyrie, James Harden, and I think there's someone else.
carry James Harden and Kevin Durant at one point?
Yeah, and
Wasn't Ben
Durant-
Simmons
that was a
on that team?
disaster. And Ben
It
Simmons,
was,
right?
but that's what everyone was like excited for it.
D'Angelo Russell was on that team.
Wasn't Donovan Mitchell on the Jazz?
Yep.
He was. That's where he started his career.
That feels like forever ago now.
They were never really. They had like one.
They were good. They were good.
They're an all-time great regular season team, but they would always flame out in the playoffs.
And also
They have Rudy Gobert, right?
Yeah, but in the West, that still wasn't like a team that was
No.
really making noise. If they were in the East, you're right. They would have been making a lot more noise.
Yeah.
I think they had what's his name who played for the 76ers, had very dreamy eyes. Kelly Oubre. He played for them at one point.
I don't remember any dreamy eyes. Now I'm going to look it up.
He's got dreamy eyes.
Randall Cobb type.
Randall Cobb-esque.
Oh,
Yes,
my God.
Very.
Oh, I know. Yep. Kate Cunningham kind of has that look now, though.
Oh. Should
Right?
the Bucks trade for him?
Kate Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons.
Giannis to
Correct.
Detroit?
Yeah, he has pretty eyes, too.
Maybe he likes the Great Lakes.
Let's just go with all pretty ice team.
I mean,
Potentially.
also, realistically, are the Bucks humoring offers from anyone in the East? Are they just like, we'll take the West until the draft, and then maybe after the draft we can consider Eastern Conference
I think
picks?
it's mainly based on the idea there's no teams in the East that could give up anything. Because again, the Nets.
Oh, so you think it's purely about availability? So like if Houston's situation was somewhere in the East, you'd think they'd consider that conversation?
I think they'd still be open to it because everything I'm reading now, like whether it's Bobby Marks or Stephen A. or Wendy, they're not talking about it East or West. They're just talking about the teams. Oklahoma City would be another one. Like, honestly, I would sneaky be rooting for Oklahoma City to lose to Denver because if Oklahoma City falls short of the Western Conference Finals, you might get motivated. They might be motivated to say, you know what? We want to win with Shea, and we're willing to part with Chet and another young player and a draft pick.
Could you imagine?
No, that would
It'd be insane.
And then they could say we can go ahead and win with Shea and Giannis. Because back to San Antonio,
That'd be
don't forget they
awesome.
also have De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
So Wemby, Giannis, and De'Aaron Fox, like that team is immediately in
Favorite.
contention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does Wemby's health come into question at all? I mean, I know we had Dr. Nessa Rodriguez from Carbon Wealth Health just a couple weeks ago talk about like the whole blood clot and everything, and he's so young.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, so like,
but it was a little different with Dame and Wemby's at least from what the reporting we got about Dame is that they caught his like preemptively and they actually were able to like stop some of it sounded like, whereas I don't know if that's the case with Wemby's situation.
Well, that's
yeah,
what
so
Molly's
like,
saying,
doesn't that
like-
make you even? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that his whole career. I'm not saying his career could be over, but it could potentially be a career-ending thing. Like, does that come into Giannis's brain at all? Does that come into the Bucks' brain at all? Is they're kind of thinking through what are Giannis's next steps? Like,
Well,
it has to.
we're not getting Wemby, so I don't think the
No,
Bucks
but
are
I'm
concerned
saying-
with it.
But I'm saying if they want to set Giannis up in a good situation, so they're not the quote-unquote bad guys, like, and Giannis has to be thinking about that too.
It sounds like with Wemby, so I was looking at this. The clot in Wemby's shoulder was discovered after he complained of weakness in his arm, so that maybe indicates there was some sort of injury. And so those are a little different. But then it's not the fact that they have the issue, it's the fact he's not had like reoccurring issues with this. It's been he is on, and that's talked about, he's on blood thinners.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be out there on blood thinners. The belief is that the blood clot, it might even be cleared now, but now they just want to make sure it's all the way. They also were extremely cautious on it. But once the blood clot is gone, then they can watch for it while he plays, and he's had no history prior with it. So then you're saying once the blood clot is gone, you're saying he's a young man. This was probably from an injury that the blood clot formed from, and then he took blood thinners and it's gone. And the danger was him playing with blood thinners, not the actual issue.
Fair. But I mean, I guess I look at it too, and I'm like, he's 20 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's very young. So I don't know.
I mean, he only has to get 5 years out of him, right? That's Giannis's window.
Just 5 years.
5 hyper competitive. He plays so strong and tough. I can't see him doing this until he's 40.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Do you think that like where he would go, like just geographically, the city would play any factor for Giannis too? Like if it came to San Antonio or Houston?
No, I think
Well,
I don't
both
know
are Texas.
I don't know
so-
who reported
True.
that the no income tax would be interest to him.
I wasn't necessarily hinting at the income tax thing, just more San Antonio versus Houston as cities. Like where would he rather live?
Look, with all due respect to Milwaukee, and I think Stephen A. someone pointed this out on I don't know who it was, but someone pointed out on First Take or Get Up. It's like, look, he played in Milwaukee. It's like those other cities are at least warm. Like the small city's not going to scare him away.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's like the small city aspect. One thing I do know about Giannis is that his idol growing up was specifically Hakeem Olajuwon, and that he actually does have connections and passions for the city of Houston. His favorite college basketball team are the Houston Cougars. When they beat Duke in the Final Four, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but he was in the locker room post-game watching the game live, and he was freaking out, and he actually interrupted a Brook Lopez interview because he was being so loud about it. Like Giannis, I think sneakily, Houston is a place where he might have always considered living. I mean, especially if it's just for 5 years, that could be the place where he says, it can be the second part of my life.
Absolutely. I would think that a draw to San Antonio, just from him being an NBA guy and Pop still being around the organization, might still
El Jefe.
Yeah, what's it?
El Jefe.
Yeah, that's
Pop.
right. To get him around, I think that'd be interesting for him.
Also, San Antonio, lovely city.
Just worth pointing out here.
I'll take your word for it.
The beginning I would say that the beginning of the end for Dwight Howard statistically was at basically year 30. And again, Giannis is better. But let's not.
Now we talked, yeah.
And that was the year that he won the NBA championship, correct? With the Los Angeles Lakers in 2022?
No, I did not. So that would not be for me, his peak was probably the end of it, the 14-15 Rockets. 16 points a game, 11 rebounds. Because then it was 13 points, 13. The Hornets, he had 16. He played 81 games. But then it was 12,
He played
7.
for the Hornets?
7, and played 81 games for the Hornets in 17-18, averaged 16 and 15. Then was garbage with the Wizards, garbage with the Lakers, garbage with the Sixers, and garbage again with the Lakers in the end. So you could guess.
And then he was on a reality show.
And I mean, I guess you could say the 17-18, but he started having injury. He went from 18 points a game and didn't get back to it for his next highest was 17 3 years later. So somewhere in that window between 30 and 33, he kind of just fell off the cliff. And again, I think Giannis works harder, and I think his more dedication. I think his game age is a little bit better. But I do think getting Giannis, it's not the end of the world. We're going to get out of here. The Brewers is coming up, but I don't think it's the end of the world if the Milwaukee Bucks end up moving off Giannis. I do think this is definitely moving in the wrong direction if you want to keep Giannis with the Bucks.
Can I ask you guys one final question before we leave? Is it better for the Bucks if they move off Giannis than if they were to keep him?
Yes.
Molly, what do you think?
Wait, what'd you say? Is
it
it
better for the Bucks if they move on from Giannis? They trade him and get as much as they can for him to set themselves up for the
absolutely.
future.
You're not winning with Giannis anymore, so it's done.
Matt?
Yeah.
With a tear coming from his eye.
There was no tears. I mean, that was just stone cold.
No, it's
answers.
literally better for everybody. Everybody loses if Giannis plays out his contract with the Bucks. If the Bucks can get something for Giannis, everybody comes out a winner.
Potentially.
I mean, for the most part.
Thanks for watching our first kind of YouTube exclusive. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. Probably talking more Giannis out at Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.